I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's delicious.
I passed 201 million. I cannot believe it. Wow. Hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. Welcome back to No Man's Sky. How are you doing? Well, I'm actually just freezing my butt off right now, trying to build some steps up to that mountain that I called Motherhorn, the same name that I gave the base, because I happen to be Swiss, and this mountain that I'm standing at the edge of looks a little bit like the Motherhorn. But the weather on this planet is insane. It's probably the coldest planet I've ever been to in No Man's Sky, and I've been to a lot of cold planets. I think this planet kind of tops about minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit during a storm. So yes, it is pretty intense, and you cannot spend a long time outside during a storm unless you are in the Minotaur, and you cannot really build a base when you're inside the Minotaur. So that's why I'm out here trying to just survive with the few resources that I have to keep me warm, but I'm kind of running low on resources. But I'm almost up to the top, but it just gets so hard that I'm like, I can't build anymore. I can barely see anymore, but I desperately want to put up at least a couple of flags here before I actually move on to my next planet, because I need a break from this planet. Although it is actually a really great planet if it wasn't for the storms, because there is a bunch of storm crystals here and frost crystals, which are awesome for crafting. You know, frost crystals you need to build glass with, and it's got a lot of other resources. It's got no dangerous animals. It's actually a pretty planet too, but it just makes it really hard to be on this planet for a long time because of those vicious storms. And those storms go on for a long time, and they're super frequent. There's not a lot of time without storms. So as you can see, my vision is already severely impacted here, where I just can't do it anymore, and then I need to go in where it's warm and safe. And this base is very basic, but it's just good enough for me to come here whenever I want, and that's kind of why I built it, so I can just come here if I need storm crystals or frost crystals or anything else that this planet has to offer. And so if you've been following me for a while, you've probably heard me say that I do not really like to play those kind of games with other people, especially not people that I don't know. I don't want to let any strangers into my game, really, because I've just had bad experiences, especially with those games where you can build bases and where you have it happen that other people constantly just have nothing better to do than come and destroy everything you build and probably kill you too if they can. So what I usually do is I only play those games where I actually can play solo, where I can disable the multiplayer part of it. Otherwise, I don't even touch the games. And in No Man's Sky, you can actually pretty much disable everything. And the Hello developers actually were saying that if you do that, you should be safe. But there was actually something in the news yesterday that got me concerned, which said No Man's Sky role players are infesting planets and bugging other players. So basically, some players have figured out how to glitch their own base computer or build items into those spaces, so they can actually build their base computer into your base in order for them to manipulate your base, and then they put some kind of nasty infestations in there which just consume your whole base and eventually the whole planet, and basically destroy all your hard work. Especially stings if you have spent, you know, hundreds of hours building a base and put a lot of effort and details into it. And I just built a little garden up here while I was waiting for the storm to pass, and you can also see the stairs that I built up to the mountain pretty good from here. because the storm just passed, and I'm actually going to go up there when the sun is going up, and you can see what it looks like from the top. So here we are, all the way on the top of this pointy mountain that I called Motherhorn. Isn't it awesome? If there just wasn't those nasty storms. But let's move on to my favorite base, which is the one that I probably spent the most time on so far, because I started very small and then I just kept adding to it the more stuff I got. I wanted to try it out, and I actually tried it out on this base, and I also moved all my employees to this base. I have all my vehicles here, and it's maybe a little bit more than I actually originally wanted. It's maybe not as pretty anymore, but it's got everything there. So if I just need to relax or I need like everything, I always come here first. So you can see here there are all my vehicles, or almost all my vehicles that I use. I actually don't use that motorcycle thing much. I don't really like it so much, but the rest I use a lot. Here is my little garage keeper guy. He's kind of like tucked away in the corner here. I had to make this building tall enough, but it ended up not being tall enough for the Colossus vehicle, so that's why that one is parked outside. I didn't want to make the building taller because it would have looked super ugly. And I also planted stuff outside the base that's local or native. They're native plants. I have a bunch of batteries and solar panels to keep that base alive day and night. You can see I've also planted stuff in here. You may have seen this base when I was at the very beginning at a previous video, but I just kept adding to it, and this is my garden. Look how lush it is. Everything is fully grown, ready to pick. But I kind of don't want to pick it because it looks so pretty, so I just leave it like that unless I need something. I desperately need something, which it can always happen. And so this room over here was one of the first rooms that I built because, well, that gun rack over here is new. I just needed something on the wall. So is this decal and a couch. I thought that looked really cool over there, kind of retro. But this is where I had my first storage unit. And this guy is kind of like in the way when I come up here, but he's the scientist. I just put him here. There is a food processor or refiner, I don't know exactly what, I just stuck it there. I have a couple of chairs here and a table, so you can just sit up here and chill. Not that I would ever do that, but the room looked better that way, right? And it's fun to just decorate. So when we go down and look straight ahead, this is how we get back out to the ship, but I'm actually gonna go take a left now to get into the new area here where I built another storage. I actually made this room just for the storage, believe it or not. But I also made a room for the other two employees that I have here, the gun expert and the observer. They're super happy and content here as they seem, as they always wave and smile at me. So, And then the best part of it all is we have this beautiful big sunny deck with couches and tables where you can just chill. But to celebrate my 200 million and my over 200 gaming hours in this game, I'm gonna pop some fireworks right here. So here you go. I'm happy you joined me with the celebration. I do not know when I will come back to this game, but I need a little bit of a break. I think I spent way more time on this game than I originally planned. But the game was amazing. I highly recommend it to everyone. It is an amazing experience. It's a bunch of fun and it's super addictive. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you leave me some comments and feedback. Give me a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope to see you next time when we go off to another adventure, and maybe there's gonna be more No Man's Sky videos. I don't know yet. Take care. Bye bye.